Rugby Roots is brought to you by Compede Melbourne Nomad Sevens. Visit the top link in the description for more information. Well, welcome to Rugby Roots, a show where we discover where our favourite players found their love for the game. In this episode, I'm delighted to be joined by the Northampton Saints fullback, George Furbank. Hello, George. How are you?
Oh yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. I know you're back at limited training now. But how excited are you to really get back into things and start playing rugby again?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. It feels like an age since I last played a game, so really looking forward to it. It's nice, like to take a step forward now and start the training in small groups. And I'm really looking forward to kind of get back into team training and then back to playing games again.
So I want to start right at the beginning for you. Talk me through your rugby journey. Where did it all start for you?
So it all started. So my dad played for Huntingdon Rugby Club, and there's a bit of family history down there, and so I've been going down there since I could walk, pretty much, to watch dad, and then started training when as soon as I think it's like under fives you start training or something. So I was at that club from under fives to sort of under 16s. Before that, I then couldn't play because I moved to Bedford and had to play on the weekends there. But it was that's my whole rugby journey. To be honest, a lot of it developed at Huntingdon from a young age.
Who was your rugby inspiration growing up? Who in the professional scene did you look up to when you were playing your early rugby days?
I think a lot of boys my age are probably similar, just because of the 2003 World Cup. So it was Johnny Wilkinson was someone who a lot of lads tried to emulate, and I definitely tried to do that as well. So he was kind of a hero probably for my generation growing up, and particularly me.
And when did you realise that being a professional rugby player was the career that you wanted to go down?
It's hard to say, really. Like, I think I always wanted to be a professional sportsman. Like, I always looked at the professional sportsman and I was like, wow, that'd be an amazing thing to do. Like basically doing a hobby and getting paid for it. That was always something I wanted to do. But when it became like a potential reality, was Saints under 17s, 18s, where I thought if I play well here, I've kind of got a good opportunity to put my hand up for a contract. So it was around that age that it became like a proper drive for me.
You were playing the majority of your kind of senior academy rugby at Saints and also at Bedford School, and you went straight from Bedford School to the Saints Academy. Were you ever nervous about making the jump straight away from school? I know a lot of rugby players or a lot of rugby fans might say that making that jump straight away is risky per se. Were you ever a bit nervous about making that jump so early in your career?
I think I was. I think most was going straight from school into a professional environment where from the off you've kind of got to try to impress from day one, and you can't really slack off, and you go into a whole new environment where you don't know very many people. So I think that's pretty daunting for most people, to be honest. But I was really excited about it, especially I think the first few months were quite surreal, just kind of playing or training with guys that you've watched on telly and you've looked up to growing up. So that was pretty surreal. It took some getting used to, but once you were from there, it was kind of Bedford kind of got me kind of used to training sort of 3-4 times a week, and although it wasn't the same intensity as it is at professional level, you kind of your body gradually gets used to that kind of load and putting yourself under that much pressure. So I think moving to Bedford and having that sort of training for 2 years really helped me going into senior academy.
You kind of touched upon it there, but you landed in an absolutely stacked Saints back line. Just in your position, Tuala, Malinder, Ben Foden was still at the club. They were all in the squad around your first appearances. How valuable did you find it to talk to those players who all have quite different playing styles, but all very experienced in what they're doing? How beneficial was it to get some great advice, not only from coaches, but from players in your position as well?
Yeah, I loved it. I think obviously that using the coaches as much as you can is important, but using guys who play in your position and have lots of experience playing there is as beneficial. And so I was loving it because I could, like you said, I could pick the brains of those lads. Fodes, Ace, Mal, and learn as much as I could from them. I think that kind of really helped because I wasn't really playing my first sort of 3 years. All of it was about learning as much as possible. And I think doing it with those guys really, really helped me.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
You know, yeah.
Perfect. Sorry, I want to touch now upon a particular game for you, your debut for Northampton Saints. What was it like to first walk out in that green, black and gold for a club which you'd kind of grown up watching and aspiring to play for?
Yeah, it was an incredible experience. I mean, I was crapping myself, to be honest, because it was down in Exeter. So you kind of go down the night before, so you have the whole bus journey the whole night before to kind of think about the game. And so come game day, I was pretty nervous. But it was an amazing experience. It's a great atmosphere down there, to be fair. And so that kind of made things even more enjoyable. But no, it was an incredible experience, kind of getting an opportunity for the first time to pull on the Saints shirt and play some first team men's rugby.
You really started to impress in your first few games and brought a lot of attention to you very quickly. Did you ever feel that little bit of extra pressure to perform, knowing that the eyes were on you in particular?
No, not really, to be honest, because after the debut, I didn't have another game. I don't think till the next season. So for me, it was just kind of starting that season as well as I could, and I played then a few Prem Cup games and went all right, and then kind of made my Premiership debut. And so I never really felt the added pressure. Obviously, the Prem debut was again another nerve-wracking experience, but I think you kind of get used to it pretty quickly, and the eyes that I don't think are on you as much as you think they are, and people can hype you up and all that stuff. But I don't think I've never really felt that kind of pressure from Saints.
I mean, things this season have been going up and up and up for you. I want to talk in particular about the Six Nations this year. England had obviously come off an extremely successful World Cup, whilst you'd been playing some incredible rugby for Saints. You then got selected for the England squad for the Six Nations. Can you remember that day when you were selected and the emotions that came with it?
Yeah, it was a weird experience, to be honest. I was out for dinner with my family, and just got added to a WhatsApp group. So it was it was a bizarre experience, to be honest. But it was, I just remember going, and I didn't want to tell them at the time because we were out for dinner, and I was just like, I'm not sure I want to bring it up at dinner. So I actually waited for the next day to tell them, which was hard to do because I was like ridiculously excited. So yeah, it was a strange one, but it was still a wicked experience.
You then started against France. I mean, what a way to kick off your international career. Talk me through that game and what it meant to you.
Yeah, it was it's thrown at the deep end. It was something I wasn't expecting, to be honest. Once I got picked for the squad, I was kind of expecting to have it as a really good learning experience and get to train with the England squad, and learn as much as I can. I wasn't really expecting to play that much. I kind of being selected for that because of a few injuries it was like probably thrown at the deep end, and but it was one that I'm very grateful for, and it was a ridiculously proud moment of mine, because I mean to be honest, I never really thought I would play for England. It was always something I was watching on telly and thought that'd be wicked one day to put on the England shirt, and then to finally do it was a pretty proud moment.
You've had such a quick and a successful career so far, which in some cases allows players to kind of take their foot off the gas, and they might think that they don't have to work as much considering they've got to such a high level. But how important would you say it is to keep on working even if you've made it to the position that you want to be in?
Yeah, massively important. I mean, there's ultimately so many class rugby players playing in the Premiership, and so if you let your foot slip for one moment, you're going to be straight down the pecking order again. I mean, just at Saints, like you said, we've still got Ace here, we've got Mal, we've got Tommy Freeman coming through. So again, if I stop working, all three of those are just going to overtake me, and I'll be on the bench for the Wandies on a Monday night. So that's not where I want to be. I don't want to be the guy who made 2 caps for England and 30 something for Saints. Like I really want to push on now, and like I said, a lot of that is down to hard work, and that's why I'm just excited to kind of get back into things now.
And finally, any advice you've got for any young rugby players watching who are looking to improve their game?
I've always said get involved in, if you have the opportunity, get involved in as many sports as possible, because there's so many crossovers. from all sorts of sports. That's ultimately going to help your rugby game. So yeah, getting involved as many sports as possible, and work hard. A lot of it comes down to that. A lot of it comes down to in your individual time, just practicing some basic skills that are going to put you in good stead to get selected and play well, and then get selected for when you're growing up.
Well, George, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been great to hear about your rugby roots.
No worries. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks again to Compete Melbourne Nomad Sevens for sponsoring this video. Make sure you check out those socials which are on screen right now. And thank you to you for watching. Make sure you check out @YoungRugby on Instagram for everything Young Rugby, and we'll hope to catch you soon. Bye bye.